What's going on, people? We're back with another video. The car is back from the body shop. Let's just quickly assess what the work is like. The quarter panel, if you remember, it was all welded up. Still needs a little bit of a polish, a bit of a wash, but we'll get to that later on. The doors, if you remember, we stripped them completely. It looks like a rally car at the moment. Our next job is going to be putting all of these doors back together and then tackling the interior. Is a bit messy. We put the wing and the bonnet on as well, just because the car was parked up outside. I didn't want to leave it just all naked. The front rad pack, it looks like it's on, but if you remember the last video, this is not the correct rad pack. We're still waiting for some parts to be delivered. Once they're here, we'll put the rad pack we'll build the rad pack up using some parts from this one, some new parts, and then we'll whack that on the car as well. I'm gonna go and tackle the doors now. As you can see, the window regulator, the wiring harness, the speakers, the sensors, everything is out. These doors, it's not only the front, it's the back as well, it's the rear as well. So it's gonna take a little while. I don't want to bore you guys because it's the exact same thing as the last video in reverse. So I'm gonna do this off camera and then we'll catch up afterwards. Run into a little bit of an issue, guys, on the rear door. I was supposed to order some parts, but I forgot. It's a little retaining sort of clip that goes right in there, in that hole, to hold the glass in place. I'm not going to be able to get that for at least a couple of days. So for the time being, just to proceed today, we're going to be zip tying this in place. That should hold it, I think. It won't fly out, at least. It'll probably rattle around. So we'll definitely have to replace it. But yeah. So a quick update to where we got to. The back door is back together. So the window was a bit of a headache, but we managed to put it in. As I showed you, we needed to use zip ties temporarily. There's a couple of little bits left, the trim pieces here. We'll put them in now. There's the front door here. That's almost done. We just need to put the door card on. We tested everything, the speakers, the lock, the window, all that is working. I just need to tighten up the side mirror and then put the door card on as well. But other than that, things are looking good. It's the next day now. The doors are complete. We're gonna tackle the interior. We're giving a quick once over before we, start the work inside. As you can see, a lot of things still need to be done. The light, the fuel filler cap. The doors are almost there. Just a couple of little bits and bobs that we've left anyway. That's the old module, do not worry. The dashboard, that's next. We'll show you the full process of how to take out a dashboard, how to put it back in. We're gonna start off with the hardest part first, this airbag. You know what, after doing a few of them, I do have a little technique that does help slightly. I'm hoping it works today. So first of all, remove this top trim. Second thing, you need to get a screwdriver. That is not the screwdriver that you need. I'm gonna show you. So just come over here. You're gonna have to make this yourself. You know what, it's not bent enough, so just put in the vise. Let me just tighten it up. Look, bend it slightly. That should do the job perfectly fine, like that. So the point is, I'm going to try to show you, is a bit of a bad angle. There's holes right there. Hold on, I'm going to show you from behind. There's a little spring there. You just need to release that spring from both sides. The problem with these steering wheel airbags is when you release one side spring, it lifts up too much and the other spring gets caught up. And once you release the other side, this one will go latch back on. I'm gonna show you a way around it. That's not an issue. So hopefully I'll just show you my brother Nas here struggling with it first, and then I'll show you the proper way of doing it. So what it is, just put it at the top, leverage it up. That's one side out, almost. Just pull the airbag back. I think that's out. A little bit more. Yeah, that's one side out. Turn the steering wheel around. So actually the exact same thing on here. Do not bet your screwdriver stuck at me. Just press it in slightly. And that's it. That is the airbag out. Instead of taking the wiring off the airbag, just take it off the clock spring because it just all comes in one plug. Just pull that off, and then you can take the steering wheel off. Make sure you're loosening it, take the key out, lock the steering wheel. It's locked, make sure it's straight. I mean, it helps for it to be straight. Just undo it like that. It shouldn't be too tight. The rest should just come off with my hands. There are some manufacturers like Vauxhall that absolutely tighten the living crap out of the steering wheel bolts, but Audi and VW are generally fine. And then, so let me just show you something on the actual steering wheel. When you're putting it back on, make sure that line there on the actual steering wheel column and the line on the steering wheel both match up. That means the steering wheel is perfectly straight. Just take the steering wheel off. Next, let me just warn you about this clock spring. There is a way to reset it and recenter it and all of that, but save yourself headache. Just put a little bit of tape on each side, stops it from spinning around. Little bit of movement is fine, because when you put the steering wheel back on, it's going to go back into place, but it just saves you the headache of recalibrating it. So we're just going to chuck some tape off now, take these bottom trims off and take that out alongside all of the indicators, etc. Just get a little T20. You can do it with a ratchet. I'm just going to do it with a gun to make life easier. Just one screw there, one screw there, one screw underneath. Should be a piece of cake to take off. Do not lose these screws. I'm going to show you a couple of tricks. Loses it, as I say. I'll show you a couple of tricks to retain these screws when you're not, once you've taken them off. Let me see if I can just guess. There you go. That is off. I should be able to just pull this off now around the key insert bit. I don't know what it's called. Let's put that away. Now we've got access to the clock spring, the indicators. I think they should all come off as one piece, or the clock spring comes off first and then the indicators slide off. It's been a little while since I've done an A3 dashboard. Let me show you what I do with the screws. So there's a couple of tricks. You can either get a little magnet, you can get a tray like this, or you can get a magnet strip like this and just put the screws on there, or you can get cups, plastic cups, chuck them in there. You can have one cup for the left side of the dash, one for the right side, or you know, whatever you want to do. So we'll do that for now. Let's take the cup inside. I do prefer magnets, to be honest with you, but because we're working on a couple of projects, I don't have a lot of spare magnets and magnet trays available. And cup, you know, you already got a cup holder there, so you can't go wrong. So let's just undo these clips. Got a T10 now. Put that in. It should just come off quite nicely. Put that away. Put this away, and then now I believe I just need to take off a couple of more plugs for the, and now that is off. Indicators, I believe this whole part comes off together. Let me just double check. Or did this slide off? Let's see. So yeah, T10 again. The screw right at the bottom. Pop a sneaky one, you won't see it from the top. Just undo that. Just put it. That's all. Now you got access to pull out the dashboard without it interfering with any of the indicators, etc. Next, we're gonna take off the cluster. Thank you, Naz. So let's do that now. Put this away. Put that away. Bring back the gun. I need a T10. No, sorry, I need a 10mm. It looks like. Let's hope we've not lost our last 10mm. Nope, it's an 8mm. All right. Pull that out. Do not drop it. Pull that out. Do not drop it. You should just slide out nicely. The S3, the virtual cockpits, they're a lot more headache to take out. Not even the screws. Literally just pulling it out takes a lot more than these normal ones. Undo the wire at the back. What I'm failing to do. That's the cluster out. Put that away. Another little trick I tend to use for little parts like this is use the back seats for anything that goes on the right side of the dash. Put it on the right side. Anything that goes on the left, put it on the left side. Now we don't want to lose anything else. So now we're starting to reveal some of the screws that are holding the dash in place. Next we can take this bottom part out, and you can probably even take the knee airbag out. So let's do that now. I believe there are some clips, but there's also some screws holding this. Take this panel off the side. It's just gonna be clipped in. It's off. Again, chuck it back on the right. There is a screw over here, as I suspected. Take that screw off. Keep on. There's gonna be some more 8mm underneath. Take them off as well. That looks like it's coming off now. You just clip off a couple of little wires. So one's for the OBD port, one's for the light controls. So we take the light controls on off. And then the OBD one, I think you can just take the whole port off, to be fair. Get a little screwdriver, put it through the top, push it, put it through the bottom, push it at the side, and it should just pop out like that. Shove this in the back. Those look like 10mm to me, so let's get that 10mm socket, one bolt, two bolt, and just get a little extension on to get the last one. It's like playing with Lego, if you know what I mean. Now that should let that drop. Or is there one more? Maybe. No, that's it. Be careful of this wire. Do not break it. Alright, next, make sure you get these release keys. They're quite important when you're doing a dash, or if you're doing any of the radio work on the car. Yeah. Put it all the way in. It just come out nicely. As you can see, there's a couple of little sneaky screws behind there. A lot of people struggle with. Push this clip in, put the tab down, and pull it out like it's nothing. Alright, so next we're going to take this top of the central console part out. Just leverage something from back here, and because you need to go to the bottom part, you don't want this section to pop out. Put like a screwdriver in, and see if we can pop it out. There you go, that's one side, that's the other side, and it should all just start coming out. Yeah, there you go. Don't force it, just work with the plastic. If something is resisting, you just give it time, assess the situation, and you should be able to figure it out. Let's get just a little screwdriver, gently pry out this it's not a gear stick, but this DSG lever trim, gear stick trim if it's a manual. It should just pop out slowly. Work around it. There you go. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's come off. You can even actually take this part out, I believe. It should just pop out like that. Put that through, and then just work your way out slowly. There's some wires at the bottom here, connectors. Again, push them in. This one, I need to look at it from the other side. Let's take this out completely. Alright, so to take off the climate control buttons, this whole piece should come off together. I use a screwdriver because the plastic is usually not strong enough, but because this dashboard is quite soft, if you're gentle with it, it won't damage it. So just gently pry out from each side. As you can see, the dashboard is, again, we're going to change the dashboard anyways, so it's not a big issue. That should all come off. The wires, another thing to remember when you're putting this dashboard back in, remember where to route these wires through. So the 3 that goes through this hole and 1 that goes through here, because afterwards it might be a headache. You're trying to reach in and pull the wires. I mean, this dashboard is not too bad, but there has been other vehicles where I've struggled with, and some cases where I even had to take the dashboard out partially. So always remember that. Just gonna pull this radio out now with the same keys we used for those buttons on that side. Pull it in and pull it. Should come out. There's quite a few wires at the back. Just remove them. So behind the wires, you can see there's a sneaky little 8mm at the back there. So you need that. That's why you need to take the radio off, so you can take that out. And that will allow you to take this glove box off. Should mean this is going to come out now. Not looking like it yet. Because it's dark, I couldn't see, but there is another little screw in the corner here, which is why I could feel some resistance. If I take that off now, it might even just fall out. Literally, it's falling in my hands. Take that off. Yeah, there you go. Hold it up while you unplug all of these little bits. Airbag wire for the airbag switch. These old wires are not connected to anything, just take it out. So that is pretty much 75% of the dash off. All of the bits are off that you need to take off. Now we're going to try to slide this backwards and then take these A-pillar trims off. Oops. Still, there should be a little tab there. Should all come off, and that, so there's 4 bolts in here. If you see, 1, 2 on the other side. You don't need to take these off, I'm pretty sure. Just take them off and you'll be able to slide the whole center console around. There's 4 more in the front. 2 screws right here, 1 screw right there. Alright, so we had to move this lever back. There's a little quick release switch at the bottom there, so that'll stop you from having to put the battery on, all of that back on. So we just had to rip that up for that. So now we should just pull it back. About that much should be enough, I reckon. There's some more wires at the back there that we can take off. Yes. I'm going to try to wedge this out, actually, to make life easier. Just simply lift it up, feed all of this through there, push that through there, push it, pull it, all the way back. There's a lighter port over here that you have to unplug. Just take these air vents off. because there's a couple of screws hidden here for the infotainment screen. I'm sure you have to take this one off. Don't forget that this dashboard is going to be replaced anyways, so it's not a big issue if you do damage it. But Audis tend to be quite good anyways in terms of that, so I'm not really worried, even if there's a dashboard that you're going to reuse for whatever reason. There is probably a better way to take this out, to be fair. There you go. That just popped out. I should be able to pull it off. Now there is 2 screws that are conveniently hidden behind. Yeah, there. That should just allow you to pull that out from the top. Get a little screwdriver again, put it on the side, stick it in, pull it out till it releases. That's where those 2 screws went, and then you should be able to see the screen and the plugs that go into it. So, next we're going to take these A-pillar trims off from both sides. They come in the way as well, and I believe there's a couple of screws hidden behind them. They can be a little bit of a headache, so take this off. Behind it is nothing actually. Get a screwdriver. I wouldn't bother messing around with my nails because these are quite solid, as you can see. And then there's going to be clips in them which are a pain. Alright, so what to do? I think we forgot to record this bit because we were struggling with it a bit. Once it's partially out from the top, just yank it back and upwards at the same time, and then there's a wire there. Just take that off for the tweeter, and it should come off. That will reveal a 8mm right there that you'll have to take off with your hands. We'll do that now, and then alright people, I think that's the dash ready to come out now. There's going to be a few various screws, all 8mm around the dash. I'm just going to go around it now and try to take them off, or just look for them until it's completely loose. So let's start from this side. Looking at it, don't think there is anything left here. Looks pretty loose. If I keep going, there must be something in between here. Yeah, right there, which is why we have to take off the center console, if you remember. Take that off. Take that off. It's gonna be much looser. Look in between. Nothing there. There is obviously one at the top here. Take that off and just give it a wiggle as you go along. It still seems quite solid, so I'm thinking there might be one more here. It looks like there is a bracket that goes down here that we need to take off. Let me just show you. So just this bracket over here, there's a screw that I can't really fit my camera in from there, but there's a screw down here that you need to take off for it to come off. Alright, there's one little bit I forgot. So underneath, obviously, the dashboard airbag, take the plug off. You can take that 8mm off from there, and then there's a couple of screws holding a bracket that you can take off as well. I think there's 4 actually, a couple on each side. And then once that is off, I'm gonna look around, see if there is anything left. This was also a screw here for the bracket, and I think that might be it. So once those are off, should be able to take the dashboard out. I'm pretty sure I don't need to take the actual airbag off from here. So let's see anyways how that goes. Alright guys, we're finally there. Now if you give it a little wiggle, the dashboard is all loose. Just remember, be careful with these wires, you know, when you're routing them through, make sure none of them catch, because you can pull on them and then damage them potentially. So yeah, let's pull this dash out slowly. Just like that, gently take it out, lads. That's all yours. That's the car ready right there. Alright guys, that's the new dashboard right here. As you can see, the airbag is all intact. So let's put this in now. I'm going to show you it's in on the other side. So, slide it in. I might need the cameraman's help there. Footing. You just need to place it gently on top over here. You don't need to bolt anything in. First thing first, route all the wires through the right places. So if you remember, there was 3 that came from the bottom. You can figure out which ones are those. There's some that came here. There was one for the cluster. There's a couple for the screens over here. And then of course, I think the rest are fine to be fair. So let's do that now. Let's put this over on its place. And then start guiding the wires through. So I think I got all of the wires right. So there's 3 here, 1 here. I think there's 3 coming from the top here. 1 for the cluster, that's easy to get, that's not an issue. These, all the ones below, that's not a problem because you've got plenty of access. Once that is on, just fiddle around with the dash, you know, work with it. Don't force it into any way. And then once the screws are flush, that means the dash is in its place. You'll see it, and then you'll be able to start screwing everything back in. Let me show you that as well. So, I think this side is okay. Let's work with this side now. So move that wire. That's sitting in its place nicely. I think that is flush. That is almost flush. So it must be. Yeah, there you go. I think that is the dashboard in its place now. The next part, to be honest with you, is pretty much everything in reverse. Just start chucking bits on. The connectors, they're only going to go into the place they're meant to be going into. Don't force anything else on. So we'll just whack through this quickly and then update you as we go along. Alright guys, the dashboard is pretty much in now. Look, we started putting bits in, we put the screen in, we screwed it all down, so it should be solid as it's going to get. Now we're pretty much halfway there. We're going to put the center console in, and then we'll finish off with all the other bits and bobs and give you another update. Next update, the center console is now in. As you can see, it's sitting well flush with the dashboard. The trims, some of these trims are in as well. I think we have to swap these over from the original dashboard. We're going to put the curtain A-pillar trims on, and then we're going to finish off this little glove box here. Alright guys, the final update. Nas is just putting on the first trim we started off with. We're just finishing off with it now. The dash is on. I think we're going to end the video here. As you can see, at the start of the videos, we did the doors. We just need to put a couple of trims on that we need to look for. That is the end of the video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I know this was a long video, so if you stay through the whole thing, I do appreciate it. But again, this video was a lot more in-depth, so we thought we'd try something different. So give us your feedback. Let us know what you prefer. But again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. In the next video, we'll finish off the front end and all the other little bits and bobs. So I'll see you guys then.